Hi everybody, it's Dan's Mans here, back with another video, and today I want to do something a little different, like I've been doing for the last 6 months, and I want to do a custom figure showcase, which is me showcasing a bunch of custom Transformers figures I've done within the last 6 months or so. It's been a hobby I've recently picked up, and over here are some of my favorites and least favorites. I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, this is something I've been doing for around 6 months now. It started off with small stuff like, adding tires, like adding detail to tires on figures. But then it really kind of picked up with the Flames Toys model kit, the Optimus Prime one I have. And that really like opened the door for me and and painting and all that stuff. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to showcase some of the major ones I've done. I'll give you a little spot of my desk for a sec. That's my brushes and liquid chrome pens. I love these things. They're almost every one of these figures has them. My hot air gun, my soldering iron, my can of paints is this thing back here, and then my sponge, some cheaper paints, and acrylic spray. But anywho, let's get right into it. We're gonna go figure by figure, and I'll show you all the customs I did on them. So let's go. Okay, so I thought we'd start out first with the smallest of the customs. Forgive my lighting for a sec. My lighting over here is not meant for video creation. This is meant for me to see all the details and stuff. So yeah, so you might be thinking from the custom shot, like, isn't the Bumblebee the smallest one? Technically, yes, but this whole figure isn't the custom. The only custom things I did on this one, which is the same thing I did on the Ironhide, which is I chromed out his tires. And on the Ironhide version, I chromed out the back panels here, but that's a different thing. No, this one's the smallest, because I'm talking about his Target Master partner. To be honest, I forget his name. I don't know. I'm never good with them. The only one I really know is, maybe I don't know it, because I can't think of it. Anyway, so, here is the figure. Let me zoom in on him. So yeah, this is the Siege blowpipe mold. I think this one was specifically Aimless, Misfire's Target Master partner, who I painted all black to be similar to Crosshair's partner, and then red because that was a similar theme amongst all the Autobot Target Masters. So you can still see a bit of the blue ab crunch thing in there. And then for other details I put on it, I gave him a chrome visor and a red face because I pretty much just threw this guy into some isopropyl rubbing alcohol to get all the paint off, and it left the whole thing gray, and I decided to add some extra paint to it. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean by this one being the simplest. It didn't take that long to do. I think it took like a day, and that was just because I let the paint settle and dry. Oh, I almost forgot. I put red on his feet for where they connect, or where the little blastings are, and you can see some of the paint scratching off. But that's fine, because then you'll just transform them back, pull it over, bada bing, bada boom, and then you got a pretty accurate gun for Crosshairs. I'll bring Crosshairs back into this frame. I have him as a shoulder mount. And yeah, the main reason I decided to do this custom in the first place was because there was a Target Master released similar at this color, but it was in a $40 Amazon exclusive box set with what was it? $35 worth of figures I didn't want. It was the one with the G2 side swipe and the flywheels repaint with GPS. Slam Dance. Yep, that was it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this one, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, and here we have the Energon class Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie, which I must admit was probably my favorite figure from that movie line outside of the Barricade, which I also customized, but I sadly sold that one. I just didn't have space for it, but this one I always have space for because I love it. It's the best movie Bumblebee figure I've gotten so far, and that includes all the Studio Series ones. Let that sink in. Anyway, so taking an up close look at this guy. Hold on. So I added some silver metallic paint to right here and right here to make the wheels look more detailed. Same thing for the back. And then I also added a light blue here to make it go all around. I know it's not the same blue, but it still gives it the good effect in my mind. Well, that was pretty much it. I was actually considering once, if I could find another one of these, doing the black deco, where it's all black with a yellow stripe. Something fun I was thinking about, but anyway, let me get to the big part, which is I did a lot of changes to this guy in robot mode, because it was almost perfect, and I think this paint job has honestly made it the perfect figure. Also, it fits really well in the Studio Series because I must admit, I was looking at some of the Studio Series figures, and the Dropkick and Shatter I originally thought were underscaled, and to a point they kind of are, but it's also because Bumblebee is almost the same size as them in that same class because they're all deluxes, when Bumblebee is way smaller than them. And this guy actually fits perfectly. He looks perfect next to Prime. All that good stuff. And I think this should be your go-to figure. Anyway, let's look at some of these details. I have to fix the face because one of the eyes was printed wrong originally. That was not a me thing. That was a Hasbro thing. But so what I did. So the blue from the back windshield carries through on robot mode. The legs got the same metallic treatment, and so did the arms, and the under chest mainly. So what I did here is I went in and I painted the whole thing black, because this was all flat yellow plastic beforehand. The legs were flat black, and then the arms were flat silver. So I went in, made it look a little more real, and I'm very happy with how the result looked. Doesn't look exactly the same from here because that was actually the only part that was painted. So it actually had a base of silver, not black. But overall, I'm still really happy with how this guy came out. Again, favorite figure. Probably one of the only figures from the Studio Series line. Cause I was invested in it for a little while, and then I kind of just got off it. I'm more into the mainline stuff now, but that's besides the point. So yeah, this is my second custom. This is actually one of the first figures I did customize, which is funny to think about. That and the Barricade. Huh. And next on the list is my personal favorite custom that I've done, which is Power of the Prime's Dreadwind, or Hydra, or is it Buzz? I don't know. So he's based off the Japanese deco, which I don't know why. I prefer the Master Force colors and stuff. Well, it's Master Force with taking liberties like the chrome here and this chrome here. I took liberties of making that because I think it looks way more styling. But that's just me. And then the raised cockpit look. This is actually a kind of a kit bash together Darkwing, or Blackwing as he was called in the re-release. Mainly because of the fact that, what was it? He was $6 on Amazon, and I got two of them. So I took all the parts from one of them that made it look the best. So like, the other one this one had a dysfunctional cockpit, the hood thing over here. The other one had dysfunctional legs, so I kind of swapped them all out. But don't get me wrong, this one still has its problems, like the head will pop up sometimes, but that's pretty much it. So, to get in closer on some of the things I've done here, I gotta raise my camera a bit now. Mainly because of how... There we go. Because he's bigger in comparison. So, yeah. Head, I filled in... There we go. So, the head, I filled in the yellow detailings. which I was surprised. I think, yeah, in the Japanese version, the ears are, but the arrows aren't for his head mask. And I was surprised that they weren't filled in yellow, so I took the liberties of filling those in yellow. I kept the purple visor because I personally really like that. I've seen lots of customs where they make it red. I just thought that overloads the body with red, but yeah. So yep, I chromed out here, make it look like a kind of a wing ornament sort of thing. Got a little fingerprinty, but that's fine. The shoulders, thighs, and feet all became red because that's what, it was weird. The Japanese versions all traded out the teal colors for red, like on this one and the Dreadwind. And I prefer that because red's my favorite color, so I'm a bit biased there. And I also added red right here and right here onto the back, since I'm not transforming this one because he's going to be a bit dysfunctional. I painted these red, and then I painted these tail wings red as well. I was originally going to go full heavy scratch and scratch custom with this one because I was originally going to take both of these off and take one of the wings from the other dread black wing I got, and make the one giant fin his original figure had from G1, but I decided against it because it was too hard. It kind of would have compromised the robot mode a bit, so this is what I got. And he sits next to Overlord on my windowsill, which I really have to fix because I know that Overlord's going to yellow if he stays there, but it's also such a good spot for him, so yeah. But lastly, we have a surprise extra figure which I forgot to put in the opening lineup. This is my least favorite figure of this year so far. Yeah, no. So I got this guy a couple days ago, and I tried to make him look good. I don't know why I just couldn't. I think my biggest problem, let's get the zoom in on here, is kind of this, he's hard to pose because he's carrying a World War II vehicle on his back, and I can't safely remove the pin because I don't have any of the nails to do it. Can't safely remove the pin without damaging the backpack, which would make it untransformable, which I might as well do because of the fact that my alt mode doesn't stick together in the slightest. Combine that with, he had horribly loose hips in the beginning when I first got him out of the box. I'll show you here. I had to glue them up. There's glue in there and there's glue in there because that swivel was really loose. And yeah, I did do a lot of custom on this guy, but I don't know how it turned. It felt good in some places and not so good in the other. So let's go from the head down. Alright, so on the head, I painted most of it black, like it actually is. And I did silver detailing right there, and then silver right there. On the chest, I painted those headlights yellow, around it silver, these silver, then I mucked up that, and then I did weathering all throughout here, chromed that, and then kind of more dry brush. This was all pretty much dry brushing with black paint. This, I took my soldering iron and I poked some holes in it, make it look like bullets. I think those came out okay, better in some areas. Then my favorite thing, because mainly these were bright colors and now they're muted, which actually makes it look warlike, is the black over the orange, which I think turned out really well. I also did, to lift up the back for a sec, I did the tire rims right here. I should probably get to those, but I'm just not feeling it right now. Then chromed all this out, then threw some black paint over it. Same thing on this side for the other arm, except this one only had one hole. So dry brushed those. Those also came out pretty good. Dry brushed. Chromed out these just random detailing right there. Alright, down to the lower legs. I chromed out every single little pin, which I also did for the chest, but I forgot to mention. And then this one is my favorite how the gunshot turned out, because it was nice and spread out. then dry brushing right over there, dry brushing there, another fake bullet here, dry brushing there, and I dry brushed his feet. And yeah, he doesn't like to stand up either. So for the gun, I did some smoke and burnout in the panels, and then I chromed each and every bullet tip. Yara yara. But yeah, I actually think the gun turned out pretty well. It's supposed to be his time travel gun, but it doesn't look like it. It just looks like a machine gun, but... yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this figure. I'm thinking about selling him in the art fire a lot, and then maybe one or two other figures I don't want to keep around, like an Action Master Optimus Prime custom I did. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get those. I have two Cyberverse Customs that I want to show here, too. Yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot about these, because I'm actually very proud of these ones. No alt mode for the Hot Rod, by the way, because that thing is a pain in the patoosk to transform, and I didn't really even make that many changes. But anyway, so I'm going to go by each of these. So, for the Thundercracker, which is Spark Armor Starscream, this was a very heavy paint job, because if you don't know what the original figure looked like, it was almost entirely gray. And on this custom repaint, pretty much the only thing I didn't change was the head sculpt. I pretty much just kept that as is. I painted the entire body blue. Then I went in, so I did some chrome detailing here around his engine nipples, and then I chromed out these details. I did the arms black, these black, the red fins, chrome there, then black feet, and then knee chrome, and then on the back, I left that just normal. Also, I painted this red for the usual Thundercracker. Much better red than the Siege version. This was left flat except for the cockpit, which got painted entirely blue with chrome right here. And yeah, I'm not going to transform him because I forgot how. First time in a long time. But yeah, no, so this was a figure. It took like 3 or 4 days to make the full custom of, and this was one I was very, very proud of. I was originally also going to take the Spark Armor, because if you don't know, Starscream came with like Scrapper style Spark Armor. I was originally going to paint that neon green and pink as a reference to his G2 Action Master colors, but I just never got around to it. And this other figure, also from the Spark Armor line, is Action Master Optimus Prime, who I did. So, let's start from the back. I removed his ability to transform by taking off his butt flap, which was really annoying. The only sad thing is it leaves a hollow part right here. I may get something to remedy that, I'm not entirely sure. So, on the front, feet stayed the same. Thighs got completely blue makeover. Same thing with his hand flap. I love that. His hand flap and arm and forearm itself. I also took off one wheel on each side because those are going to another custom. Chromed out the windshields, added yellow here. I did not paint that blue, that was the way it came. The Action Master Prime is actually gray right here, I just never felt like doing it. And then the head sculpt is yellow here. I was considering doing the eyes, but I think it looks better just the way it is. Anyway, so here's the final shot. I just got done retaking my thumbnail because the original thumbnail is just the figures I had up here for the start, but yep. So here are pretty much all the customs I've done. Most of the figures in my collection are slightly customized, but these are the really heavy ones I did. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of most of these. The only ones I'm not really proud of is probably this one and the Hot Rod. Oui, oui. I'm French, I can make fun of French people. I might do a little more to salvage this. I think I'm going to cut away on some of the kibble. I think I'm going to make him an Action Master, but time's only going to tell on that one. If I can't get it to work, I'll probably sell it. I'm not entirely sure. I've kind of been clearing out a lot of space in my collection because it's kind of slowing down as of recently because I've narrowed my focus on what I want to do. I also did some custom action master, not action, micromasters for a micromaster city I'm doing, but that's probably something I'll contain all to itself, a whole micromaster city shelf and what I'm doing with it and stuff when I can actually finish it. And so yeah, these are all the customs my collection. I really hope you guys enjoyed looking at it. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Dan's Man's